So we're picking out the wood for our shelves, our two center shelves. Remember the top we already have, so it's time to pick out those shelves. So I went through, I have a little pile here of wood, and it's been here a while, so I'm going through it and just picking out some odd pieces because all I need is about 15 inches, and these are close to 20, so I'm going to have some left over. But first, so these are, you can see they're not trimmed. The edges are not trimmed. So that's the first thing we're going to do. But first I wanted to pick out some flat ones. Now we want to avoid ones like this. See how it's curved? I mean, it's usable because at 15 inches is probably going to be about right there. So it's not going to be too much of an arc. We could put it over here. But it's going to have a little bit of arc to it, although a shelf might be a good place for it. Yeah, I might use that anyways, because it is a piece of beech, or we might use it for something else. Either way, we're not going to waste it. That's a really cool piece of wood. So here's some, it almost looks like a white ash, but then when you turn it over, you can see it's definitely red oak. It's got the red going through it. So that's what can happen when one starts to tarnish due to weathering. Or here's a really cool one. Got like a knot. I think that's really cool. So that's it's almost too bad this is a shelf, but you'll be able to see it somewhat when you look inside. Now here is one that started to rot, so it has spaltic going on, and that's a really cool effect. Here's some white oak I can tell because of the heft, very heavy. And look at that, got some cool, I'd say that's spaltic too going on. And then we have this board. Now they're very flat. They are crooked, they need edging, so that's not a problem. We can do that in a table saw. I can't really videotape that because unless I had someone holding it, but even then it'd be very noisy. So here's a piece of, oh, look at this one. So this is cool there, but then look at this side. Just tremendous. And I when I first seen this, I thought, oh, that's split. It's not split at all. That's just the kind of the minerals going through it, or water stain or something. It's a very cool effect. So we got some beautiful pieces here, some soft maple, and here's some poplar, and there's a piece of red oak underneath. So now I'm going to do is trim these up. So I'm going to move my fence over, take a little bit off the edge to get a nice straight edge, and then I'll flip them and get another straight edge. I don't care how wide they are, so I'm going to do each one. Now if I can't get the two edges in two rips, maybe I have to flip it for the third time and take a touch more off. So each time you flip it, you should be able to get a better, straighter edge. And the table saw is an awesome tool. It's the one I use the most, but I'm sure it's the most dangerous too. So you have to be careful. You have to be concentrating on what you're doing and focused and thinking about what you're doing and watching. You keeping an eye on everything. You don't take your eyes off the tool and the wood. And the other thing to watch out for, if you start cutting knots or something, they can be very dangerous. That knot can come flying back at you. That wood can split. So in those cases, if there's a bad knot in here, I'll often take it over there on the radial arm, cut that end of the board off, and then do the ripping. So watch out for the knots. In a case like this, this is pine, so it's not a big deal, but hardwood knots are definitely tougher, but even pine knots you have to watch out for. Okay, so I'm going to get ripping and getting these shelves ready, and it got some really cool, I even hate to use it, but let's face it, I got to use some wood, and I pretty much love all the wood, so let's get ripping them for shelves.